So welcome back guys to Online Driving Academy. Today we're going to be taking a look at new road signs, right? We have about 27 new road signs. And as always, we will be featuring the testimonials first, right? I have quite a few interesting ones today and I'm just going to be going through them. I'm not going to be reading them. So please pause the video and read each and every single one of them, as that will basically give you an idea as to whether you are here to learn or whether you are here to waste your time, right? There's more than enough proof here that my videos are real and the questions will indeed come out in your test. So with that being said, let's begin. So for today's video, we will be starting off with a lesson. So that means that I will be teaching you how to identify each road sign, how to identify the symbol, where you could find it, and what each thing will mean. Because there is no point in answering questions if you don't know what each sign means. So our first sign today will be this red and white sign. Now it is in a circle shape and it has a red line going through. And as I always say, if you see a red line going through, it is prohibiting something. And you can see a capital letter A and a capital letter V in this road sign. So what does this actually mean? Now the A and V will stand for abnormal vehicles. And if there is a red line going through, it means that abnormal vehicles are not allowed on this lane or not allowed past this road sign. This sign basically prohibits abnormal vehicles on the road. So now we can see a triangle shape, right? And this has a red border. And within this road sign, we can see like a tunnel there, right? And there's one vehicle entering the tunnel and there's another vehicle that's coming out of the tunnel. So this road sign basically warns you of a tunnel ahead. Now we have a very peculiar looking road sign, right? And this road sign will actually show you that you are approaching a 2 or more track railway level crossing, right? Now we see another triangle shaped road sign with a red border again. However, we can see that there is a black arrow that is pointing towards the left direction, right? And this road sign will actually indicate that there is a sharp turn to the left ahead. As I have said, triangle road signs will always warn you of something. So in this case, it will warn you of a sharp turn to the left. So now we see a road sign with a very familiar road marking within it, right? And I have discussed this particular road marking in the previous video. And this is actually an arrestor bed, right? This entire road sign will warn you of an arrestor bed lane ahead. So now we see a blue and white sign, right? It has a white border with a blue background. So we can see a capital R. We can see a couple yellow lines, broken up lines. And then we can see a regular length bus and we can see a midi bus. How do we know this is a midi bus? Well, it is smaller than the regular bus and it is much bigger than what a usual minibus will look like, right? And this sign will basically show you that a bus lane reservation will begin at this point. So at the point in which you see this road sign, that is where the bus lane reservation will begin. We can see another triangle sign with a red border. However, we can see a yellow background with a blue circle in the center. Now, this sign will indicate to you that beyond this sign, you will find a police block. Now, this sign is pretty straightforward, right? It is a circle sign with a red border and it has a white background. And within the sign, you can see it says 12T. Now, this is pretty straightforward. What does 12T mean? It stands for 12 tons. So as soon as you see the sign, you must know that no vehicle that exceeds the weight limit stated on the sign, so 12 tons, will be able to go past this point. So the point at which you find this road sign. So if you are driving a vehicle that weighs above 12 tons and you see this road sign, you are not allowed to go past it, right? You are prohibited to go past this line. Now we can see a very familiar road sign on top, right? This will be one entire road sign, but I'm just breaking it up into two. So on top, you can see a yield sign, right? We know what yielding means. However, at the bottom, you can see a pedestrian there with a red background and a white border. So entirely, what does this sign mean? This sign basically tells you that you will have to yield to pedestrians, right? Pedestrians, because there's a pedestrian sign at the bottom and there's a yield sign on top. Now we can see a white and blue sign, right? A blue background with a white border. And we can see the capital letter P on top of the sign, right at the top. And below the capital letter P, we can see the back of a truck. However, on this truck, there is a yellow diamond. And we know what yellow diamond means, right? Again, I explained it in the previous video. So this road sign will actually indicate to you that there's a specific parking area, right, that is reserved for vehicles that are conveying dangerous goods. So it could be goods like fuel, gas, stuff like that. Now this is a very peculiar sign, right? I doubt most of you have seen the sign before. And now we can see there is a speed limit on top. How do we know it is a speed limit? You can see a red border and a white background, and it says 100 kilometers an hour. However, at the bottom of the sign, we can see a black background and 2 stars and the moon. How do we know this is a moon? Obviously, this image at the bottom is reflecting the night sky. So this sign basically prohibits you from driving faster than 100 kilometers an hour at night, right? Now we can see a blue background with a white border and a capital letter T in the center of this road sign. So what does this mean? This sign will basically indicate to you that you have to pay toll fees, right? Now we can see again a triangle sign with a red border and a white background. We can see 2 lanes, and the lane on the left will actually merge into the lane on the right. This sign will basically warn you that the dual roadway you are traveling on comes to an end ahead. Now we can see again a triangle sign with a red border, white background, and a black diagram, right? And we can see a formation here that kind of looks like a wave. So this sign will actually warn you that there is a drift ahead which may contain water. There we go. We can see sort of like a wave formation. It may also indicate to you that the drift ahead will contain debris, right? Either water or debris. Now we can see this sign, right? It is in a rectangle shape. And we can see there is a red border with a white background, and there are 4 arrows there. Now each arrow will represent a lane, and the 2 arrows on the left are sort of converging into the 2 lanes on the right. So this sign indicates the converging of traffic lanes, right? As we can see, the 2 lanes from the left are coming in towards the right hand side. Now again, we can see 3 lines representing lanes, separate lanes, within a white background and a red border. However, on the lane all the way to the right, you will see a blue circle with a white border and 80 within that sign. So that 80 will basically give you the minimum speed limit for the lane. So on the right lane, in this case, the minimum speed that you should be traveling is 80 kilometers an hour. Remember, if you see a road sign with a white background and a red border, it's giving you the maximum speed limit. If you see a road sign with a blue background and a white border indicating a speed on it, that will give you the minimum speed limit. Now we can see a sign similar to the ones we had in the first view, right? There is an arrow pointing towards the right direction with a red border and a red line going through. So obviously this sign will prohibit you from turning right. Now we can see a triangle road sign with a truck, right? It's going downhill, and there's another vehicle that has crashed into this truck. So this sign will basically indicate that there are slow moving heavy vehicles traveling downhill ahead. Now this sign is a circle sign. It has a red border with a red line going through, and it has an arrow that's going forward and then it's making a U-turn, right? You are turning to go backwards. So that's known as a U-turn. And this sign will actually prohibit you from making a U-turn at this point. So what do they mean when they say at this point? They mean at the point at which you see the sign. So if it is at a stop street, that is a point at which you are not allowed to make a U-turn. Now we can see another triangular sign. However, there is a line going straight ahead, and then there is another line on the right, and as we go ahead, there's another line on the left. So this sign will actually warn you that you are approaching a staggered junction. In this sign, you can see a circular sign with a red border and a red line going through. And within that sign, you can see 2 trucks, right? This is the back of each truck. There's the tires, and there's the carrying bed, right? And when you see these signs, it is basically indicating to you that a goods vehicle may not overtake another goods vehicle for the next 500 meters. Now, this is very specific. So let me tell you again what it means. It means that a goods vehicle may not overtake another goods vehicle for the next 500 meters. So this circular sign has a red border and a white background. And in the sign, we can see a truck, right? There's a long truck there. And then it says 15M. Now this 15M actually stands for 15 meters. Right? If the vehicle that you are driving is longer than 15 meters, it may not drive past the sign, right? You are not allowed to go past that point if your vehicle is longer than 15 meters. Again, in this sign, it is a circular sign with a red line going through and a red border, which means it is prohibiting something. And within the sign, we can see another truck right at the back of a truck. And we can see that yellow diamond shape there. Again, immediately when you see the yellow diamond shape, you must know that they are talking about a hazardous goods vehicle. And if there is a line going through, it will indicate that hazardous goods vehicles or vehicles that are transporting hazardous goods, they are not allowed to use that road. See, there is another circular sign with a red border, a red line going through, and a white background. However, within the sign, we can see there is a delivery vehicle, right? This icon actually represents a delivery vehicle. And this entire sign basically indicates to you that delivery vehicles are prohibited beyond this road sign. So if you see the sign and you are driving a delivery vehicle, you are not allowed to go past that sign. So this sign is pretty easy, right? You can see a green background with a white border. We can see a lane going straight ahead, and there is a certain lane that branches off into the right direction, and we can see another red rectangle there. So this sign will basically warn you that there is a dead end towards the right hand side. So this red will represent a dead end. So we can see a blue background, a circle sign with a white border, and we can see the outline of a bicycle within the sign. And because it has a blue background with a white border, it is actually indicating that only bicycles may travel here. So only bicycles may travel on that specific lane. So now we can see there is a motor vehicle in the sign. It is a circle sign on top, and there's a red line going through. And below that sign, you can see a text box there, right? So this will indicate a specific time. In this case, it has 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. So whenever you see the sign, you need to understand that this sign will forbid motor vehicles from driving on this road between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Right? So to be specific, 6:30 to 9 o'clock. We will now do a few questions in order to test how much we have picked up from the video lesson. So let us begin. Question 1. What does the sign forbid you from doing? Again, we can see there's a motor vehicle in that sign. There's a red line going through, and there's a timestamp at the bottom between 6:30 and 9 a.m. So is it option A, the sign will prohibit you from parking a sedan? Is it option B, motor vehicles from driving here between 6:30 and 9 a.m.? Or is it option C, driving a sedan? Now we know when we do see the sign, it will prohibit motor vehicles from parking here between 6:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. Therefore, option B will be your correct answer. Question 2. What does the sign forbid you from doing? Now we can see the maximum speed limit at the top of the sign, and we can see at the bottom it is indicating that it is nighttime. So is it A, driving under 100 kilometers an hour at night? Is it option B, driving at night? Or is it C, driving above 100 kilometers an hour at night? Now, since this is a maximum speed limit, the sign will forbid you from driving above 100 kilometers an hour at night. Therefore, the correct answer will be option C. Question 3. What does the sign warn you of? So we can see a downhill slope, we can see a truck, and we can see a small motor vehicle crashing into that truck. So is it option A, a possibility of slow moving vehicles ahead? Is it option B, an accident ahead? Or is it option C, downhill racing ahead? Obviously, the correct answer will be option A. Question 4. What does the sign mean? You can see a blue background with a white border and the outline of a bicycle. So is it option A, motorbikes may ride here? Option B, bicycles may not ride here? Or C, only bicycles may ride here? Now the correct answer will be option C. Question 5. What does the sign mean? Now we can see a lane going forward, a lane going towards the right hand side, and then there's a dead end there. So is it option A, there's a dead end to the right? Is it option B, there's a dead end to the left? Or is it option C, there is a parking spot to the right? Correct answer will be option A. Question 6. What does this sign mean? We can see a delivery vehicle in this road sign and a red line going through. So that is prohibiting something. So is it option A? No pedestrians are allowed ahead. Is it option B? Only trucks are allowed ahead. Or is it option C? Delivery vehicles are prohibited beyond this point. Again, the answer is C. Question 7. What does this sign mean? Now we can see a red line going through, so automatically prohibition. And then we can see a truck that is carrying dangerous goods, right? Hazardous goods. So is it option A? Black trucks are not allowed here. Is it option B? Dangerous goods vehicles are prohibited from using this road. Or is it option C? 2-ton vehicles are not allowed on this road. Correct answer will be option B. Question 8. What does this sign mean? We can see a truck in that sign and we can see it says 15 meters. So is it option A? If the length of a vehicle exceeds the length on the sign, it is not allowed beyond this point. Is it option B? 15-ton vehicles are not allowed on this road. Or is it option C? If a vehicle is carrying 15 passengers, it is not allowed on this road. Correct answer will be option A. Question 9. What does the sign mean? Now we can see two trucks, right? We can see the back of two trucks and we can see a red line going through only one of them. So is the correct answer option A? Trucks are not allowed here. Is it option B? You are not allowed to race a truck. Or is it option C? A goods vehicle may not overtake another goods vehicle for the next 500 meters. Correct answer will be option C. Question 10. What does this sign mean? Now we can see there is a U-turn icon there and there's a red line going through. So is it option A? You are not allowed to make a U-turn here. Is it option B? You are allowed to make a U-turn here. Or is it option C? You are not allowed to look in your rear view mirror here. Correct answer will be option A. Question 11. What does this sign mean? Now we can see a red border. It's a triangle shape with a white background. And you can see a lane going forward and one on the left, another lane on the left, and another lane on the right. So is it A? There's a broken ladder ahead. Is it option B? There is a staggered junction ahead. Or is it option C? There is a parking lot ahead. Correct answer will be option B. Question 12. What does this sign mean? Now we can see a blue background, a white border. We can see the capital letter P and can see a hazardous goods vehicle there. So there'll be a truck. So is it option A? The parking area is reserved for dangerous goods vehicles. Is it option B? Only 10-ton vehicles are allowed here. Or is it C? There is a parking lot ahead. Correct answer will be option A. Question 13. What does this sign mean? Now we can see a capital letter T within a blue background and a white border. So is it A? You must be towing a vehicle in this lane. Is it option B? You must pay toll fees. Or is it option C? This is a no towing zone. Correct answer will be option B. Question 14. What does this sign mean? Is it option A? No hatchbacks are allowed on this lane. Is it option B? You must turn left ahead. Or is it option C? The roadway that you are traveling on comes to an end ahead. Correct answer will be option C. Question 15. What does this sign mean? Again, we can see 4 different lanes and a red border. So is it option A? There is a left turn ahead. Is it option B? It indicates the converging of traffic lanes. Or is it option C? There is a right turn ahead. The correct answer will be option B. Question 16. What does this sign mean? You can see a triangle shape with a red border and sort of a water formation there. So is it option A? There is a pool ahead. Is it option B? There is a beach ahead. Or is it option C? There is a drift ahead that may contain water or debris. Correct answer will be option C. Question 17. What does this sign mean? You can see a yield sign on top and a pedestrian sign below it. So is it option A? You have to yield to pedestrians. Is it option B? You have to yield to horses. Or is it option C? You must stop at the traffic lights ahead. Correct answer will be option A. Question 18. What does this sign mean? We can see it says 12 tons within a white background and a red border. So is it option A? If the mass of your vehicle exceeds 12 tons, you are not allowed past this point. Is it option B? Only 12 vehicles are allowed here. Or is it option C? You must have 12 passengers. Correct answer will be option A. Question 19. What does the sign mean? So we can see a regular length bus, we can see a minibus and the capital letter R within a rectangular shaped sign with a blue background and a white border. So is it option A, only minibuses are allowed here? Is it option B, no buses are allowed here? Or is it option C, a bus lane reservation begins here? Correct answer will be option C. Question 20. What does a sign mean? So we can see a prohibition sign, we can see a red line going through, and we can see an arrow that is pointing towards the right hand direction, right? Is it option A, you are not allowed to turn right? Is it option B, you are not allowed to turn left? Or is it option C, you are not allowed to drive on ahead? Correct answer will be option A. Question 21. What does this sign mean? Now we can see a red border and 3 lanes, and the right lane will have a minimum speed limit on it. In this case, it will be 80 kilometers an hour. So is it option A, you must drive on the right lane? Is it option B, indicate the maximum speed limit? Is it option C, indicate the minimum speed limit in the lane? The correct answer will be option C. Question 22. What does the sign mean? You can see a red triangle border, you can see a yellow background and a blue circle in the center. Is it option A, there is a police block beyond the sign? Is it option B, there is a reservoir ahead? Or is it option C, there is a stop sign ahead? Now, the correct answer to this will be option A. Question 23. What does a sign mean? Is it option A, there is a flag ahead? Is it option B, there is an arrest a bed lane ahead? Or is it option C, there is a yield sign ahead? Now, the correct answer will indeed be option B. Question 24. What does a sign mean? Is it option A, you are not allowed to turn left? Is it option B, it indicates a sharp turn to the right? Option C, it indicates a sharp turn to the left. Now, the correct answer will be option C. Question 25. What does a sign mean? Is it option A, you are approaching a 2 or more track railway level crossing? Is it option B, there is a stop ahead? Or is it C, there is a gate ahead? Now, the correct answer will be option A. Question 26. What does a sign mean? Now, we can see a red border there, or a triangle, and we can see a tunnel within that sign. So is it option A, there is a tunnel ahead? Is it option B, there is a parking lot ahead? Or is it option C, there is a dealership ahead? Now, the correct answer will be option A. Question 27. What does a sign mean? We can see a capital letter A and a capital letter V. However, there's a red line going through. So is it option A, automatic vehicles are not allowed here? Is it option B, abnormal vehicles are not allowed here? Or is it option C, you must stop here? Now, the correct answer will indeed be option B. We have come to the end of the video, so I want to take this time to thank you guys so much for watching. If you found that this video was useful for you, please give it a like. And if you want more videos like this, then subscribe, as it gives me an indication that you really do want more. Until the next one, all the best to those that will be writing the test soon. And yeah, all the best. May God bless each and every single one of you. Goodbye.